So I recently joined the Siemens Energy with the all experiences of the journey of the digital twin in the past. So I just want to give a heads up about, the discussion about how we go to the next step of the integration of the digital twin. I think this is a slide you see, and most of you are familiar with the journey. Yeah, you might say this is something we know already, but I think they understand the dynamics behind how to go there. Industry has been evolving in the past, like the contractors, designers, and all these parties started this journey of digitization. But the challenge for us, I think the definitions are changing for digital twin, is why people have different expectations, I would say. But how you align all these expectations across the journey is critical, yeah? Because at the end of the day, without having this digital journey for design engineering and fabrication and manufacturing, we can't get the opportunity for the benefits and the full integration for the digital. Yeah. So for me, it's a full life cycle, and in the last 20 years, luckily to experience all this from different parts. Now we're seeing like the technology and engineering organizations also getting the opportunity to integrate this journey. So it's not a coincidence that in the last 15 years, we have been experiencing these challenges, and now it's going to the journey of this integration, I would say. And all these experiences for the past, luckily, I've been publishing. Yeah, this is all about how the digital twin journey is coming up with the benefits. So these are some publications in the last 5 years which I have been working on in the meantime to contribute in the industry. So the airports, large-scale capital projects, how to get the benefit out of this, how we justify the return on investment for the digital twin journey. I'm saying about the journey because I believe it comes out the whole this painful process, because we have different definitions, because it's a painful process. Let's be honest, this requires resilience, this requires integrated approach, it requires alignment with all the parties and the continuous passion for delivery. Yeah, digital twin only comes out for me is looking at the industry with all this passion, and there has been publication. Recently also have been working on how this journey will be integrated with the other systems, yeah, moving forward with the facilitation with AI, IoT and so on. But without having this integrated journey, either it's a client-driven or the various organizations, I think it will be very hard to get the outcomes. We identify the key pillars for delivering the digital twin journey. So once we look at over here, we have the standards for sure in place. We have the people transformation. The best technology you can deploy, it's a huge transformation journey we can go through across the phases. The other thing is, like, as you know, that technology arm is there. So we know technology is there. Yeah, it's more like how to utilize in the best place with the required processes. Key projects to be identified. You'll see another slide. Our challenge now in the industry is like virtually collaborating, but now we are delivering in different places. Yeah, so the post-COVID gives a lot of opportunities, but also different challenge. How are we gonna transform virtually and globally? And then, as you know, the processes. So all around this journey, we need to establish our processes, and these are some of the outcomes outlined for the business. So without thinking of the business outcomes, I think it will be something lonely, just thinking about how we do the BIM-enabled or digital twin journey. Yeah? So we need to also have on the right, these outcomes for the business. This is the key challenge for us globally. So we have teams around, whichever business we go today, we have teams around globally virtually integrated. But in the other parts of the world, we also have the projects getting delivered. So in the past, we were focused on some projects delivering with the BIM-enabled journey, but now we are looking for globally setting out, and we need to be transforming those teams with this journey. That's a great challenge now we are facing, I would say, and this will require transformation. This is a kind of slide most of you are familiar. So how the employee requirements are translated with the business unit opportunities and the strategy, and how we're gonna be binding with the standards, and then we build up the execution plans and monitor the business. So it's a kind of generic slide, but it says a lot of things, saying we understand the client, we understand our business requirements, and then we deploy this journey across the board. That's important for us to look at. Once we look at the life cycle, we identify the opportunities at the early phase to the later stages. You might be thinking we are not a EPC, we are not providing full turnkey projects or whatever, but wherever we go is a critical part that we identify the opportunity at the early phase of the engagement, defining the opportunities and then move up step by step. So I think that's a mindset shift we are also integrating. In the past, people are thinking, is there an employment requirement? Is there a let's say, budget for digital twin or the BIM? Is the client is asking or not asking? I think we went through this journey to more like how we introduce the life cycle in the right sense so we can get all the benefits, all of us, I would say. That's a kind of slide. I would say it's a more like a EPC, full life cycle opportunity we are looking for. Deployment of BIM-enabled digital twin journey. So I call it journey. I believe digital twin is not something coming at the end and it's waiting for you there and oh my God, it's great to have it. So it's a real journey. You need to go through these phases. We know that in the industry we have the design engineering, supply chain, logistics and all these challenges. Now the thing is like alignment with all parties, integrated with the journey, make sure that data-driven, but not burning ourselves with the data. What we have seen recently is like, we all talk in digital, we all talk in data, but we are losing the business outcome. So we need to be really focusing on how we utilize, how we get the business outcome out of this. And the publications I showed you justified the opportunities to integrate this, and you can deliver a project that's very much improved time schedule, cutting cost overruns, and it has been justified and published. So in the big picture now, the challenge for us is rather than one project, how we transform the industry with this mindset so people can, or the organizations plug into this journey. That's how I see, how we see the digital twin. And it's a great thing, great picture at the end to have it, but to have it, we need to have this journey, yeah? We need to have this resilience, painful journey, get there. This requires engineering, this requires science, this requires all sorts of diversity, multidisciplinary thinking, data-driven technology. But I think industry has enough experience in the last 15 years to bring all this together, parties. That's heavily what we are looking at and how they define the digital twin journey, I would say. And we can talk about how we justify the uses, what are the opportunities we can gain for. Plenty of discussions come out for the different islands. Yeah. So the critical thing for us, like how these islands are getting integrated to each other and step by step to seamlessly delivering. I mean, this slide is not new. Yeah. So most of us know the slide, but the critical thing is like how we do it. I think there are things we need to be looking at from the contracts. There are things we must say the procurement methodology of the client. There are things we can look into the requirements of the data across the chain and so on. Yeah, but either it's a client-driven or it's a organization-driven. That's the ultimate goal. The other thing is like to I think emphasize here. In the discussion we had, like, we need to think the future. Let's say the data-driven and put all data. And what we see, like, people or the organization start thinking about the data only and losing the track of this chain of life cycle delivery. So yes, we are concerned about the data, but we don't want to input the whole data-driven thing across this. Yeah, we need to be thinking, understanding that this journey is a data evolution journey. Yeah. It's not easy to put all the data in the design engineering phase. Yeah? If somebody saying, I'm going to spend this amount of data, we need to put all the suppliers, everything in place, so I'm going to have the digital twin. That takes a long time of effort, then we will miss the opportunities for the construction and other journey. Yeah? So we need to be more think simply where we want to go with this data and how we go step by step. And once we come to the construction to commissioning stage, that's where the digital twin is getting really solid and populated, yeah, with the data-driven mindset and integrated with the organizations. And further downstream for the operation and maintenance journey, yeah. So I think it's a bit rough to explain all this in 15 minutes because having these challenges and going through this journey is critical. So I see colleagues coming from digitized mindset, data-driven mindset, put all the data on board, get the technology in place, and we move on. But the idea is like how we are getting the most business outcome, all the steps on the journey. That's very critical to understand, yeah. So we make it simple, deliver for the phases, and the data will follow. So data will follow in the right sense with this, let's say, frames of standards and everything, I would say, yeah. That's something also I think we have seen during the discussions of judging the awards and the projects we have received from the region. Some colleagues are saying, no, this is not a digital twin, it's something to do with the BIM. So the other is saying, no, I think it's a digital twin, and so on. For how we see it, from the both science perspective, from the reality practical industry perspective, for us it's a whole journey of digital twin. Yeah, it's more important where you plug in into journey with as your organization and how you define the requirements of it. But the ultimate goal, of course, once we name it as an end product for the client and operators and owners, I think that's what we are looking for. So in the past also, we have been looking at how to integrate these digital twins, because reaching that stage is a good challenge of this delivery, and the other thing is like how to define what we're gonna do with this digital twin product and integrate with the backend systems. 2018, and I was delivering this large-scale airport, going through a whole journey of the digital twin. We were ready, one of the biggest digital twin in the planet, I could say, and colleagues will also talk about today, I guess. That step, I was thinking like, how we gonna plug in to our backend systems? Because at the end of the day, it requires another stage of thought process. You need to think about your computer-aided facility management system, IoT, asset register. It's another, let's say, skill set required to take it from there. Yeah, that's why I have been heavily working on this in the last 3 years. How we have been having an integrated platform with the digital twin thing and hosting it with the data and plug into the backend systems. And 2018 onwards, we recognize that this is not something only AEC industry can manage. Yeah? It could be managed by integrated with the technology providers. Yeah? So I don't see myself like a coincidence recently joining the Siemens Energy. It's the way the industry is evolving right now. So it's an opportunity, it has been recognized that there is an end goal for the client and how we can integrate all this into the backend systems. Still, I can see like there is a way to go, another 2 to 5 years, I would say, how this is getting integrated into those backend systems and getting the digital twin benefits out. I think today we also have some nice presentations, what it stands for the client, because you have the layers over here, the user interface, big data analytics, how the data is integrated with the BIM-enabled journey, and how we can interface with the real data and so on. Yeah, so we separate this like the whole life cycle journey on one side to get there, and the other side, the digital twin itself, to be integrated for various services.
So as Siemens, what do you exactly provide to your clients? Do you have the software? Do you have the service? Do you provide digital twin for operations or for project execution for the entire life cycle? What exactly the current offering of Siemens?
Yeah, the presentation is more focused on the current status of how we see it. I say not company specific, but I would like to say it's more or less everything because we have the projects which are going through from start to end. Yeah, so we have the scope of delivery, design, engineering, so all the life cycle, opportunity to deploy with the products integrated. Depends on the client, depends on the joint venture, depends on the project. We have the scopes, but EPC is one thing happening all the time. So it's like all sorts of this life cycle going through start beginning to end, and plus the products. Yeah, and the mindset is like you do the design engineering, you supply, you engineer, you deliver physically, and also service. So it's everything basically. Yeah, but it depends on the scope as well. So it's a great opportunity. That's one of the reasons I was saying, like, it's a great opportunity to bring all this together with the mindset of technology and also all in one place.